30 years is a long time. Enough time for a life to be built, and sometimes enough time for a life to be completely destroyed. We were just kids when we said goodbye. We thought that was the end of the story. But the universe has a cruel sense of timing. It decided to reunite us, not at a wedding, not at a coffee shop, but standing over a fresh grave. Sarah had built a fortress around her heart. She was 52, successful, independent. Her home was quiet, too quiet sometimes. Everything was orderly, except for the silence where love used to be. The funeral notice arrived on a Tuesday. It was for Michael, a shared friend from college. Just a name, a reason to wear black. Until she saw the small print on the service program. David Miller, attending. The air in the church was thick, smelling of old wood and lilies. Sarah stood near the back, planning her quick escape. Then she saw him. He was standing by the casket, a little heavier, maybe a little grayer at the temples. But his eyes, those were the eyes she'd spent 3 decades trying to forget. She didn't move. She couldn't. It was the same shock she felt at 22, the moment he told her he couldn't come with her to London. He turned. He saw her. For a moment, the whole world outside the church disappeared. The pain was instant, a memory of a 22-year-old heartbreak. They split because of ambition. Sarah was ready to conquer the world. David was rooted in his small hometown, caring for his ailing mother. A simple mistake, the wrong choice at the wrong time, that cost them 3 decades. Later, outside the reception, David approached her. His voice, she realized, was the only thing that hadn't changed. He said he didn't know she was back in town permanently. Sarah replied, her voice firm, betraying nothing, that she wasn't. But the lie was hollow. She knew she wasn't leaving until she heard the rest of his story. The following weeks were a dizzying blend of nostalgia and discovery. They met for coffee, then dinner. They talked about his life, the successful landscaping business, the difficult years caring for his mother. And they talked about hers, the demanding career that had consumed her 40s. The chemistry was undeniable, but this was a careful, mature kind of love. A love built not on fire, but on shared regret. For 2 weeks, they lived in a bubble, ignoring the world outside that little coffee shop. Then, the silence began to creep in. It wasn't the silence of their youth, filled with unspoken promises. This was a silence that held secrets. David would often check his phone, his face clouding over. Sarah knew that at 52, people don't come without baggage, but she didn't realize how heavy that baggage was. One evening, she simply asked,
"What is it, David? You look worried sick."
"It's my son, Ethan," he finally confessed. "He's 25. He's been struggling. I've mortgaged the house twice trying to keep his debts from ruining him. I'm starting all over, Sarah. I'm almost broke."
Sarah felt the cold grip of reality. This wasn't the fresh start she imagined. This was inheriting a lifetime of problems. Sarah felt the cold grip of reality. This wasn't the fresh start she imagined. This was inheriting a lifetime of problems.
"I can't do this, David," she whispered later that night. "I built a quiet life because I was done with drama. I don't want to fix someone else's son.
The fight was the most adult fight they'd ever had. It wasn't about ambition anymore. It was about money, responsibility, and the messy, unforgiving reality of middle age. Sarah realized she was ready for love, but not ready for the sheer weight of someone else's crisis. She booked a flight back to London for the following morning. It was safer to run than to risk the final, irreversible heartbreak. She was waiting for her taxi when the knock came. It was David. He looked defeated, but his eyes were clear. He said he saw her suitcase and asked if she was running again, just like 30 years ago. He told her he couldn't blame her, but to listen to him first. Sarah didn't open the door fully.
What is it, David? Tell me you found a stack of cash.
No, he said, reaching into his pocket. I didn't find money. I found this. He pulled out a small, velvet box, old and slightly worn. It wasn't a diamond engagement ring. It was a simple silver band. 30 years ago, I bought this. I was going to ask you to marry me before you left for London, but I was afraid you'd say no because of my life here. So I kept it. I never sold it. Not when I married my late wife, not when the debts piled up. I still had the ring, Sarah, because I knew, deep down, this story wasn't over. I don't need you to fix my life. I need you to share it, imperfections and all.
The silver band wasn't a proposal. Not yet. It was an apology. An admission of fear that had cost them 30 years. Sarah realized that the love she thought she needed, the quiet, orderly life, was nothing compared to the chaotic, messy, real love standing on her doorstep. She took the ring, not to wear it, but to keep it. The silver band wasn't a proposal. Not yet. It was an apology. An admission of fear that had cost them 30 years. Sarah realized that the love she thought she needed, the quiet, orderly life, was nothing compared to the chaotic, messy, real love standing on her doorstep. She took the ring, not to wear it, but to keep it.
I finally opened the door and told him, I'm not going to fix your son's problems, David, but I will stand beside you while you fix them. Let's make a better choice this time.
This was their second act. A commitment made not in youthful haste, but in the sober wisdom of two people who finally understood the cost of running away. The moral of Sarah and David's story is simple. Love doesn't always die, but it often hibernates. A second chance isn't free. It costs you all the wisdom and all the baggage you've accumulated over the decades. It teaches us that love after 40 isn't about escaping reality. It's about choosing to face reality with the right person. If the fire is still there, sometimes all you need is the courage to stand still and stop running from the complications. What do you think? Do second chances really work, or are they a mistake you should leave in the past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more true-to-life dramas about love, life, and the tough choices we make after 40. Thank absolutely for watching.